Hey everybody, welcome to the Addiction Unlimited podcast, where you get to learn everything you want to know about addiction and recovery. I'm your host, Angela Pugh, co-founder of Kansas City Recovery, life coach, and recovering alcoholic. To learn more about me, you can listen to episode 0 on your podcast app or find us on the web at addictionunlimited.com.
Happy New Year, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Addiction Unlimited podcast. We are diving deep into sobriety, personal growth, and the tools you need to live your best life alcohol-free. I'm so excited to welcome you to a brand new year filled with opportunities, hope, and strength. And as we step into 2025, I want to take a moment to honor you, whether you are just starting your sobriety journey or you've been walking this path for years. Every day you choose to show up for yourself is a victory, and I want to celebrate that. So, welcome to 2025. Can you freaking believe it? A fresh start, a clean slate, and this is your opportunity. You've got 12 new chapters to write of your story, and they can be whatever you want them to be. This episode is all about setting the tone for your year, one filled with clarity, courage, connection. I want to share some motivation to inspire you as we step into this new chapter, some personal insights, how I've tackled my own challenges in sobriety, and of course, all about Dry January, what we're doing, where you need to join me for Dry January Bootcamp so you can kick off your year with strength and support. So, New Year's Eve for me was a huge challenge. Like all the years I was thinking I needed to quit drinking, but I couldn't get myself to actually do it. New Year's Eve was a big hang up for me. That was one of the things that I always thought about, like, oh my gosh, how would I ever get through New Year's Eve without drinking champagne? Now, remember, I was a bartender. New Year's Eve was a huge night for me in my life. I always worked. It was always a crazy party. Not that every other night wasn't a crazy party, it was, but New Year's Eve just has an extra flair, right? And always made a ton of money and had a ton of fun and drank way too much. So all the years that I was thinking about quitting drinking, I would stress, right? I would think about like being at work and everybody laughing and everybody having their champagne glasses in hand. And I would get this knot in my stomach and I would feel like this mix of awkwardness and self-doubt and a little envy thinking about everybody drinking but me. But once I quit drinking, like honestly, I didn't think about any of that stuff at all. It went away pretty quickly because I was really done with alcohol. And I also didn't focus on what I was missing. I always reminded myself why I started this journey in the first place. I didn't quit drinking to have less fun or feel less alive, right? I quit to feel more alive, to stop numbing myself and start living with intention. And maybe you felt that too, that pull of old habits, the fear of missing out. Maybe the idea of the new year feels overwhelming, like there's pressure to get it all right. But let me tell you, you don't need to have everything figured out today. Sobriety, just like life, is built one choice at a time, one day at a time. And every choice you make to honor yourself is a step closer to the life you want. And let's talk about intention for a moment. You don't have to climb Mount Everest on January 1st. You just need to plant your flag and say, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing Dry January. This year, I'm committing to this 30 days alcohol-free. Starting small is powerful because it's sustainable, right? Success doesn't come from perfection. It comes from persistence. And if you want to try to jump in and climb Mount Everest and your goal is to get as far as you can possibly get, as fast as you can possibly get there, you're going to fuck it all up. I'm just telling you, because sobriety doesn't work that way. It is slow, sustainable persistence. That's what we're going for. And that's why it's one choice at a time, one day at a time. This is not a race. if you try to get as far as you can possibly get, whatever that is, by the way, because everybody's sober journey is different. You have no idea what life has planned for you. So when you're trying to dictate it all and you're trying to run the show instead of just showing up day to day and taking the right actions, you're trying to run the show, you're trying to control things, you're trying to dictate what's going to happen and how it's going to feel and how you want it to be, right? You will fall off. And if you want to have that sensation of 1 step forward, 10 steps back, try to rush things because that's what you're going to get. I want you to take this 1 step at a time. And for a lot of people, dry January isn't just a trend, it's a reset button. This is a chance to step back and ask yourself, what role is alcohol playing in my life? Maybe you're waking up tired and feeling foggy, or you're using wine to cope with stress after the kids go to bed. Dry January gives you the space to experience life without alcohol, to see how your body feels, how your mind clears, how your relationships change when you're fully present. When I first quit drinking, I had no idea how good life could feel without it. I thought I would miss the excitement and the fun, right? Because there's some chaos that comes with drinking. And, I had a certain level of enjoyment with chaos. Not because I really enjoyed it, but it was all I knew. It's the only way I had ever lived. So that to me was just life. That was the spice of it. But what I found is total freedom. I had no idea how much alcohol controlled my life until I stepped away from it. And I had all that freedom of my time, freedom from the shame of overindulging, freedom from the exhaustion of keeping up appearances and really hiding who I really was. And I had the freedom to focus on what really mattered, my health, my relationships, my life. And this is really why I created the Dry January Bootcamp. It's not just about abstaining from alcohol. It's about gaining clarity, confidence, having a sense of community. And in Bootcamp, that's exactly what you get. It's daily motivation and guidance, tools to navigate cravings and triggers, a support system of like-minded people who understand exactly what you're going through, and the accountability to stick with it if you're willing to show up, even on the tough days. And if this sounds like exactly what you need to kick off your 2025 strong, let's do it together. Join me in Dry January Bootcamp. It's addictionunlimited.com/bootcamp. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. You can find it all over my social medias. But this is the way to start your year the way you want to start your year. Like I said, you have 12 fresh chapters sitting right in front of you, and you get to write them to say whatever you want them to say. And let's be honest, sobriety isn't always easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. There will definitely be moments when cravings hit, when the voices in your head try to convince you just one won't hurt. But you know better. And every time you say no to a drink, you're saying yes to something bigger. You're saying yes to your peace of mind, yes to your health, yes to the person you want to become. That's what it's all about. Join me in this Dry January Bootcamp, addictionunlimited.com/bootcamp. And as we start this new year, remember you're not alone. You are stronger than your cravings, you are braver than your fears, and you are capable of incredible transformation. And know that every step you take is a win, and we want to celebrate every one of those wins. Happy New Year, my friends. I hope this is the beginning of 12 incredible chapters for you. I hope I get to be a part of your journey. If you join me in Bootcamp and beyond, there's many opportunities to work with me and be involved with me. And I would love to be a part of your journey. addictionunlimited.com/bootcamp. I will see you there.
You've reached the end of another great episode of the Addiction Unlimited podcast. Candid and honest conversation about addiction and recovery. Be sure to visit us at addictionunlimited.com to join the conversation and access show notes and links to everything we talked about. Love this episode? Please take 30 seconds to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes to help us improve and give you the information you want. Thanks for listening. See you next week.